Hi, welcome to part 3 of this series summarizing the Mahabharata. This epic is known for two main things. One, for being the longest poem in the world, and two, for the most amount of deaths in a single story. For those keeping track at home, 7 babies died in the first part, and 3 people died in part 2, making it an even 10 so far. Let's see who makes it through today in this long story short. In the last part, both of Bhishma's brothers died before giving the kingdom an heir to the throne. His stepmom Satyavati had to call in her other son, the sage Vyasa, to impregnate each of her daughter-in-laws and give the kingdom of Hastinapur a suitable heir to the throne. Instead, they got Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Dhritarashtra was born blind and Pandu was born extremely pale, each of their conditions being a result of how their moms reacted when they saw Vyasa. Despite this, Bhishma and his adoptive brother Kripacharya taught the princes the art of war, politics, justice, and fighting. While Dhritarashtra couldn't really fight with weapons like bows and arrows due to his blindness, he was given a blessing from Vyasa allowing him to be highly skilled at hand-to-hand combat, and was said to have the strength of 100,000 elephants. When the princes were fully grown and trained, it came time to pick which one would ascend the throne. Since he was older, Dhritarashtra believed he had the right to the throne, but his half-brother Vidura, the smartest and most noble man in the kingdom, and also advisor to the throne, suggested they make Pandu the king because he believed Dhritarashtra's blindness would hinder his ability to make the right decisions. Everyone agreed and Pandu was crowned the new king. Dhritarashtra said he agreed with the decision, but let's be honest, on the inside he was probably thinking,
No, it's fine, it doesn't bother me, it bothers me a lot.
When it came time for the brothers to marry, Dhritarashtra chose to marry a princess named Gandhari from the kingdom to the northwest. She was a very devoted wife, and even chose to blindfold herself for the rest of her life so she could see the world and life through her husband's eyes. Pandu married Princess Kunti and Princess Madri. Under his rule, the kingdom expanded their borders into most of the Indian subcontinent, with Pandu himself leading and winning most of the battles. Once, in between his military campaigns, Pandu went hunting in the woods to relax. There he spotted 2 deer in the middle of mating and decided to take advantage of the 2-for-1 offer. He shot both deer and began running towards his catch. But as soon as the deer were hit with the arrow, they immediately turned back into humans. Turns out the deer were actually the sage Kingdama and his wife, who assumed the form of deer in order to mate with each other. Wait, what? Yep, apparently that is what happened. I guess I'm no one to judge, so moving on. As Pandu came upon the sage and his wife dying, Kingdama cursed Pandu, saying that since he killed the sage and his wife as they were in the middle of doing it, the next time he tried to be loving with his wife, both of them would die. By this point, Pandu didn't have any children yet, so he decided to give up the throne and become a hermit because he thought he didn't deserve to be king after killing a sage and then not being able to produce an heir without dying. Both of his wives, Kunti and Madri, accompanied him into exile because they believed their lives were tied to him, and if he was going to be a hermit, so should they. Dhritarashtra was then made the king of Hastinapur. He did mourn his brother's exile and take the throne reluctantly, but again, let's be honest, when he heard about his brother's exile, on the inside he was probably thinking,
Oh no!
So against all odds, Dhritarashtra did end up becoming king like he always wanted, and somehow the kingdom was once again childless for the time being, with one king not being able to produce an heir, and another king with a big chip on his shoulder and impaired judgments, which really aren't qualities you want in someone who will rule and then train the future kings of the land. This is definitely a recipe for disaster, and that is exactly what it ended up being, a disaster. But it is fun to watch this train wreck unfold, so tune in next week to watch more of this long story short. Bye!